States back in 2015, this Vedanta Society. So I sort of started off in the United States in Houston. Let me start with a chant this evening, and then we will proceed into the subject. Om asato ma sadgamaya tamaso ma jyotirgamaya mrityurma amritam gamaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om, lead us from the unreal to the real. Lead us from darkness unto light. Lead us from death to immortality. Om, peace, peace, peace. If we were to look for one text for Vedanta, it would be hands down, without any contest, it would be the Bhagavad Gita. In fact, if you look for one text for Hinduism, it would be the Bhagavad Gita. Highly acclaimed. Even Sri Ramakrishna, who was not a fan of book learning, he praised the Bhagavad Gita highly. He would say, Gita khub boi. So the Gita is a very good book. One should always read the Bhagavad Gita. The Bhagavad Gita, 18 chapters, 700 verses, the teachings of Sri Krishna to his beloved friend and disciple, Arjuna. It summarizes the essence of the Vedanta. For Vedanta, you have to go back. The root texts are the Upanishads. The root texts of Vedanta are the Upanishads. Vedanta is defined as Vedanta Nama Upanishad Pramanam. Vedanta is verily the source of spiritual knowledge called the Upanishads. So these Upanishads are the foundational texts, the root texts of Vedanta. But what the Bhagavad Gita does is, remarkably, very beautifully, Sri Krishna summarizes the essence of the Upanishads. Sarva Upanishada Gava Dogdha Gopalanandana. So Krishna is the milkman, and the Upanishads are the cows. So the Bhagavad Gita is the essence of these Upanishads. One way of describing Vedanta is what is known as the Mahavakyas, the great statements in the Upanishads. All of these Upanishads, there are many, many Upanishads, but all of them can be summarized in a single sentence. And these sentences are taken from the Upanishads themselves. Tattvamasi, you are that. Aham Brahmasmi, I am Brahman. I am Atma Brahma, this very self is Brahman. Prajnanam Brahma, this very consciousness is Brahman. These are 4 statements taken from 4 different Upanishads, representative of the 4 Vedas. And all of these statements have one thing in common. They all express what is in Sanskrit called Brahmatma Aikyam, the identity of the individual and the cosmic, the identity of Atma and Brahma. You can put it in different ways. Jivatma, Paramatma, the sentient being and God, the identity. This is the essence of the Upanishads. This is the essence of Vedanta, that, you are that, Tattvamasi. The Bhagavad Gita also expresses the same thing. By the way, these are not the only statements which express this identity in the Upanishads. There are many such statements. These 4 are just taken as representative. The Bhagavad Gita also teaches the same message. Just to flag it before we take a deep dive into today's subject, remember there are multiple schools of Vedanta. So the Upanishads, the Bhagavad Gita, and there's another text, the Brahma Sutras, they form a triad, the basis for multiple schools. One is, of course, the Advaita Vedanta, the well-known non-dual Vedanta, whose foremost figure was Adi Shankaracharya, which is what we are going to talk about this evening, which is what I study and practice and teach. But also there are multiple other schools. They all deserve and they all have legitimately their title Vedanta. There is Vishishta Advaita Vedanta. Ramanujacharya was a great acharya. There is Dvaita Vedanta of Madhvacharya, the dualistic Vedanta. There is Shuddhadvaita Vedanta of Vallabhacharya. There is Dvaita Vedanta of Nimbarkacharya. Achintya Bheda Bheda of the Gaudiya Vaishnava, the Bengal school of Vaishnavism. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. If that's unfamiliar, at least in the United States, ISKCON, Hare Krishnas, it will be familiar. That's also a school of Vedanta. So there are multiple schools of Vedanta. Newer schools of Vedanta are emerging. Just now you have Swaminarayan Vedanta. They have put it in a very formal format. So it's a legitimate new school of Vedanta, which has come up recently. So multiple schools of Vedanta are there. Just to make it clear, we are talking about Advaita Vedanta, non-dual Vedanta. The beauty of Sri Ramakrishna is that all of these different approaches, they're all true in the sense that they all work. They will all take you to the highest. They'll all give you enlightenment, God realization. Advaita Vedanta. Now, one of the great masters in Advaita Vedanta, Madhusudana Saraswati, who lived about 500 years ago, sort of contemporary with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, with Sri Chaitanya. He, in his masterful commentary on the Bhagavad Gita, called Gudhartha Deepika, the lamp which illumines the hidden intent. Gudhartha Deepika, the lamp illumining the hidden intent. It's a massive commentary, detailed commentary on the Bhagavad Gita. There he takes it forward. Takes what forward? The idea that the Bhagavad Gita teaches Tattvamasi, you are that. This is something that is held by Advaita Vedanta. But he gives a more detailed analysis of this. Madhusudana Saraswati, in his commentary, he says, the 18 chapters of the Bhagavad Gita can be divided, you can, with justification, divide them into 3 groups of 6 chapters each. Chapters 1 to 6, one group. Chapters 7 to 12, second group. Chapters 13 to 18, third group. On what basis? He says these 3 groups put together, they express the teaching, you are that, Tattvamasi. How so? In order to understand the statement, you are that, Tattvamasi, just like in order to understand any statement, we need to understand the meanings of the words in that statement. You are that. What does you mean here? What does that mean here? And how is you and that, or how are they the same? So these 3 things we need to know. And according to Madhusudana Saraswati, the first 6 chapters, chapters 1 to 6, concentrates on you. It tries to answer the question, who am I? The next 6 chapters, from 7 to 12, concentrates on that, on God. What is God? And then, finally, the last 6 chapters, from 13 to 18, concentrates on or focuses on establishing the identity of you and that. I am that. I am Brahman. How? What does it mean? That's the topic of the last 6 chapters. Now, why am I saying this? Just by the way, there are, of course, many things in all these chapters. It's not just that the first 6 chapters are only about who am I. No, if you read the Bhagavad Gita, you'll find plenty of things. But it is true. The first 6 chapters are primarily concerned with the individual being. And there are many other things also. It's also even more true. If you look at chapters 7 to 12, they are devotional chapters, bhakti chapters, chapters on God, on Ishvara, on Avatar and all of that. And then the last 6 chapters, according to Madhusudana Saraswati, they establish the identity. But there are many other things there, a lot of things about practical spiritual life. Now, why am I saying this? To establish the background for today's talk. Today's talk is called The Field and the Field Knower. That's the title of the 13th chapter. 13th chapter's title is Kshetra Kshetragya Vibhaga Yoga, the yoga of the field and field knower. This is crucial. Why? The 13th chapter, as you would expect, is a turning point, is a climax. Why? What is you? Tvam, you. That has been established in the first 6 chapters. What is that? Tat has been established in the next 6 chapters. Now you will expect the 2 to be put together in the 13th chapter. And that's exactly what Krishna does at the very beginning of the 13th chapter. It's a very dramatic chapter, very powerful chapter, my favorite. um, so that's what we're going to look at. Sri Krishna bringing the whole message of the Gita together in the first two verses of the 13th chapter. First two verses also, there is a little story, a little controversy about that. Why? The 13th chapter is a little odd. Because there, sometimes in some books you will find that chapter begins with a question from Arjuna. So if you have the question from Arjuna, Prakriting Purusham Chaiva Kshetram Kshetragyam Evacha Etad Veditum Ichchami Jnanam Geyam Cha Keshava. O Krishna, what is Prakriti, what is Purusha? What is nature and what is spirit? Prakriti and Purusha. What is field and what is field knower? What is knowledge and what is to be known, the object of knowledge? I wish to know these things, O Krishna. Six questions. Question 1, what is nature, Prakriti? Question 2, what is the spirit? What is the soul? So, Purusha. Question 3, what is the field? And question 4, what is the field knower? Question 5, what is knowledge? And question 6, what is to be known? More or less, these are the same questions. Nature and spirit, Prakriti and Purusha. And then field knower, field and field knower, same thing, put in different language. Nature and spirit, field and field knower, same thing he's asking. Basically, you know what he's asking. Field is everything, it's a field. Field knower, me. What is all this and what am I? Or in other words, this is all Prakriti, nature. All of this, including this body and everything. Everything is nature. And what am I? The knower, the conscious being. Purusha. Purusha and Prakriti. And the same thing in a more practical way he's asking, what constitutes knowledge? Knowledge means spiritual knowledge here, Vedanta. And what are we trying to know here? Geyam, Jnanam, Geyam. Same thing. Thrice he's asking. Say 3 pairs of 2 questions each. So 6 questions. And Krishna answers. So sometimes in the 13th chapter, you will see the chapter beginning with this question from the set of 6 questions from Arjuna. And sometimes you will find the question is omitted. It starts straight with Krishna's teaching. So always, sometimes there's one extra verse, sometimes there is. So the numbers keep changing. In some books you will find verse 1, Arjuna's question. Verse 2 and 3, Krishna's answer. That's what we'll talk about today. The central answer, direct answer to Arjuna's question. Verses 2 and 3. And so in some verses and some chapters or some editions, you will find verse 1, Krishna's teaching. Verse 2, Krishna's teaching. So what I'm going to say now is verses 2 and 3 in some books or verses 1 and 2 in some books. Some books are extra clever. They put Arjuna's question as verse 0. So the count is maintained properly. And yet you have the question also. So Krishna answers Arjuna's question. What is the field and the field knower? Idam shariram kaunteya kshetram ityabhidhiyate etadyo vetti tam prahu kshetragya iti tadvidaha. Simple and direct and powerful answer to Arjuna's question. He says, O Arjuna, this body. Which body? Everybody's body. This body. Know that to be the field. Know that means just call it the field. This body is the field. And the one who experiences this body from within. That's me. That's you. Each of us. We are experiencing this body from within. The knower of this body. The experiencer of this body. The embodied person. Me. You. Call it the knower of the field. Kshetragya. So body is the field and you are the knower of the field. The one who experiences the body from within, that one, etadyo vetti, the one who knows this body, one who experiences this body. Call that one the knower of the field, kshetragya. In Sanskrit, kshetra means field, kshetragya means the knower of the field. Thus have the wise ones, those who are experts in this field. I'm permitting myself a little pun. So they speak of it in these terms. Krishna introduces this subject. Simple but very powerful and direct introduction. We'll see what it means. What is he pointing out here is the first step in Vedanta, the who am I? What am I? It's very interesting that Vedanta, it consists of two steps. One step of analysis, of taking things apart, going to the essence of what am I? Not what's all this, just what am I? The essential, direct answer to that. And that is done by, not this, not this. I'm not the body, not the mind. Go to the fact that I am pure consciousness. That's step one. But step two in Vedanta is all of this is also that same pure consciousness. So that completes Vedanta. Vedanta is oneness. Vedanta is not separation. But to establish that oneness, it always begins with a separation, with an analysis. Neuroscientists tell us that our brain, of course, has two hemispheres, and it seems the two hemispheres have different functions. So there is a right hemisphere which deals with synthetic experiences, putting everything together, holistic thinking. It seems that art and poetry and spirituality probably is right hemisphere thinking. And left hemisphere is analytical, mathematical, verbal. It is precise. It analyzes. So science and logical thinking and practical application, focus, that comes from the left brain, the left hemisphere of the brain. That's what neuroscientists tell us. And to have holistic knowledge, to know something properly, you need both. You need both. When information comes in from the outside, you need to analyze it, take it apart, analyze it, understand it clearly. And then put it together also to get the big picture. You need both science and you need poetry also. You need precision, but you need a big picture also. And I was thinking, it struck me today, actually, that the two steps in Vedanta are these two hemispheres in one sense. First is the analytical left brain side of it. The neti. I'm not this, using logic. We will just see today. This, what Krishna just said, is very left brain thinking. The one who knows this from within is the knower of the field. The body is the field. You are the knower of the field. We'll go into that. You will see it's very left brain thinking. It's very analytical. It's very logical, very incisive. And then you will see in the next verse, Krishna will be very unitive, holistic. He'll bring it all together. That knower of the field is indeed all this, the entire universe, bringing it into oneness. And that's very right brain thinking, right hemisphere thinking. So I was thinking, Vedanta, it uses both hemispheres of the brain. It just struck me today. Another way of looking at it, this Sri Krishna's teaching, this first verse and the next one. First one is neti, not this, not this. And the next one will be iti, this, putting it together. Before we go into it, I'll give you another example. The example, Sri Ramakrishna is to give the example of the chandelier. You can see the chandelier right there, right? So how does it work? We all know there is a central light, maybe a big bulb inside it, and lots of crystals or pieces of glass, hundreds if not thousands of it, and they all reflect the light inside. Now what Krishna does is, in order to answer this question, who am I? First, he says, it's like asking, what is that light? Where is that light coming from? He says, it's not this glass or that glass or this glass. It's not none of the thousands of glasses. Go deep inside, you will find one source of the light. So that light is the source of all the light that you see there. That you are. And then next he comes back outside. And he says, every light that you see in those sparkling, in every piece of glass, is that light also. So this is what is going to happen now. First, we will analytically explore, go deep, and then sort of explode outwards to cover everything that we had left behind. Another way of putting it is what Sri Ramakrishna said. The man who climbed to the roof of the house. He left behind the door and the first floor and the staircase and the second floor and went to the roof of the house. And there he found what the roof is made of. The bricks and the mortar and the lime dust and whatever is used to make buildings with in those days. And then when he came down, he found that whatever he had left behind is also made of the same stuff. The rest of the house, the first floor, second floor, they're all made of the same stuff. Similarly, he says, at first in Vedanta, in spiritual life, you go forward, you leave behind neti neti, I am not the body, not the mind, not the prana and all of that, not the intellect, and you realize I am the absolute and pure consciousness. And then you turn around back into life and you come back. The body, mind, and indeed all of this is the same pure consciousness. So first, then you might ask, in that case, why climb up to the roof and come down? But that's the process we have to go through. Otherwise, we'll never make the discovery. We'll never reach the reality. We'll just have a surface view of things and we'll remain contented with that. But first, we must dive in, discover the truth, and then look around and see that is the same truth everywhere. So this is the big picture of what's going to happen. Now we're going to take a deep dive into what? This first teaching of Sri Krishna. Two teachings will be there. A left brain teaching and a right brain teaching. So the first teaching of Sri Krishna is this. This body is the field. Now what Sri Krishna means here is, you can regard anything that we know, the entire universe, whatever we see, hear, smell, taste, touch, whatever we can think about, this whole of life, everything is the field. Everything is the field. But why did he say this body is the field? One reason is, our confusion starts with this body. My confusion is, I am not confused about all of this. I know I am not all of these. These are all objects to me. But I am the subject. And these are all different from me. This is the field I can understand. I have no problem with it. My real confusion starts with the body. Because sometimes I think this body, just like I say, this piece of cloth, this body. But sometimes I say, I am sitting here. But what's sitting here? The body is sitting here. I am this. What's this? It's me. Or as an English teacher would have it, it is I. It's not me. I still remember there is a story of St. Peter's in the gates of heaven. Knock, knock. Who's there? It is I. And St. Peter says, oh no, another English teacher. I have a confusion about the body. Sometimes it is this, sometimes it is I. So Krishna, he says, consider this body to be the field. The world is the field. There's no doubt about it. This body is part of the world. Who can doubt it? It's all matter. This is also all matter. It's directly connected to this world. Every breath we take in is sucked in from the world and released back into the world. All the food and drink which goes to constitute this body is taken in from the world. This world is an ocean of matter. And here is a particular whirlpool of matter which I call body. It's a part of the field. So this body is the field. And the one who experiences this body, you are the knower of the field. Notice immediately, Sri Krishna has given two names, two labels, implying thereby that two are not the same. The knower of the field and the field are not the same. You are not the field. You are the knower of the field. Therefore, in other words, we are not bodies. I am not the body. You are not this body. He has given us an instrument, an analytic instrument, or in today's terms, we would say a left brain instrument. What is that instrument? The one who knows this, etad yo vetti. It's a lever, it's a key to open the door of Vedanta. We'll use that now. What is he saying here? He is saying that what we experience, that is an object, and the one who experiences is the subject, and the two are never the same. This is the essence of the Vedantic process, the procedure called Drigdrishya Viveka, the discernment of the seer and the seen. The discernment of the seer and the seen. The word Viveka is very interesting. Vivekananda, Viveka. In many Indian languages, Viveka means conscience. But in the Vedanta, it is a more precise philosophical meaning. It means to separate two things which seem mixed up. There are two things, but they are indistinguishably mixed up. And to go in there and analyze them, left brain, separate them, analyze, that is called viveka. Pritak karana, to separate. And separate, not physically separate, separate in our understanding. So to separate what? To separate the knower of the field from the field. The knower of the field from the field. How will you separate? By this principle. Whatever you know is the known, the seen, and the one who knows is the seer. And the seer and the seen are never the same. Apply this. In a very naive way. The eyes are seeing. And what are they seeing? They're seeing all of this. And I immediately notice, whatever the eyes are seeing are different from the eyes. What do you mean by different? I mean separate. Physically, in a very naive way, in a very simplistic way. Whatever the objects which we are seeing are separate from the eyes. In fact, the eyes can only see something which is at a distance from the eyes. The eyes cannot see themselves. The eyes cannot see themselves. You would say, have you tried a mirror, Swami? In the mirror, you see a reflection of your eyes. The way the eyes are seeing this piece of cloth directly. That way the eyes cannot turn around and look at themselves. They can't. If you take a selfie, that's a picture of the eyes, not the eyes seeing the eyes directly. If you look at a reflection in the mirror, that's a reflection of the eyes, not the eyes seeing the eyes directly. You can't. The seer and the seen must be different. The subject and the object must be different. The knower and the known must be different. Therefore, the knower of the field must be different from the field. This body is the seen. In fact, it is an object to all our senses. I can see the body. I can touch the body, smell the body, taste the body. Even if my tummy is rumbling, I can hear the body. All my senses are objectifying the body. The body is seen, quote unquote seen. It is seen. It is basically known. And I am the seer of the body, whatever I am. And therefore, I cannot be the body. It's an argument. You are the conscious knower of the body. That's what Krishna is telling you. Very left brain argument. You are the knower of the body. You are the experiencer of the body. You are the seer of the body. Therefore, you are not the body. And immediately, Vedanta will also add a footnote. A thing and its properties belong in the same place. If I am seeing this red cloth here, or this red cloth here, I am seeing this orange or ochre cloth here. Now, I am the seer of the cloth, so I am not a cloth. I am the experiencer of the cloth. Not only that, the property, the color of the cloth, the orange color of the cloth, where is it? It's not in me, it's in the cloth. Do you see that? It's very simple. It's utterly simple. We don't even have to repeat it. The object and its properties, the properties stay in the object. But now, apply that to the body. The height and the weight and the race and the skin color and the age and the gender. Whose properties are they? Are they properties of me, the seeing, the experiencing consciousness, or of the body? Of the body. They are the properties of the field. So don't take them upon yourself. Don't take them upon yourself. Keep things where they belong. One sadhu said, the way of applying Vedanta, in Hindi, I'll tell you in Hindi and translate. Jo cheez jahan ki hai Mahatma ji, usko wahi rehne do. Keep things where they belong. Oh monk, Mahatma ji, oh monk, keep things where they belong. Where does the weight of the body belong? To the body. It belongs to the body, not in me, the consciousness. Oh, I am so overweight, I need to lose weight. Wait a minute. Are you overweight? Are you the consciousness overweight, or is the body overweight? The body is overweight. I am the experiencer of the overweight body. Nothing is being denied here. There's no escapism here. But it's a clear fact that the body is overweight, not me. I am the experiencing consciousness. The body is sick. The sickness belongs in the body, not in me. Not me in me, the experiencing consciousness. Just yesterday I was reading out from one of Swami Vivekananda's recollections. So he says in Deoghar, Vaidyanath Dham, and he was a guest in the house of Babu Priyanath Mukherjee, and he was suffering from asthma. And one night it became so bad, he had an asthmatic attack, Swami Vivekananda. And he said, it felt that the last breath will depart from the body. I couldn't breathe. And then he said, but the mind was calm, very clearly from inside. This thing came again and again. Soham, I am that, I am the pure consciousness. In the words of Krishna, the knower of the field. Where is the asthmatic attack? In the field, in the body. You are the knower of the field. Consciousness does not have asthma. Body has asthma. I'm watching. He says, I watched calmly, waiting for the life to depart this body. Of course, luckily he survived that time. Similar example, I remember Swami Shivanandaji, his picture is there. He was the second president of our order, another disciple of Sri Ramakrishna. In his old age, he also had many ailments and he was suffering from asthmatic problems. At once, he was the president of the whole order in Belur Math, our main monastery. So the reminiscences are there. One night, he couldn't sleep because of the asthmatic attack. And I think what you do for asthmatic patients is support them with pillows, make them sit up. It's easier to breathe. So it was a struggle throughout the night. Next morning, it's our custom in the main monastery to go and bow down to the president of the order. Every day, pranams are offered to the president. So the monks went, and one of the monks, they asked Swami Shivananda, Swami, how are you? He immediately said, I'm fine. Then the monk was puzzled. He said, but we heard last night you had such asthmatic trouble breathing, you struggled, you suffered whole night sleeplessly. Then he looked as if sudden realization. Oh, you mean the body? Not good at all. The difference is so clear to them from their perspective, the field and the field knower. The field is an object. It's part of the body is an object, is part of the field. And its properties, its sickness, its age, its health, whatever it is, good and bad, all those properties belong to the body, not to me. And jo cheez jahan ki hai, usko wahi rehne do. That is the practice in Vedanta. Keep things where they belong. You will find you have no problem at all. The knower of the field has no problem at all. The field can have problems, variety of problems, and they will come and go. But this gives us a psychological gap where you can calmly watch like Vivekananda. Even when the last breath is departing from the body, you can watch. You can be like Shivananda and say, I am fine. Oh, the body is not good, but I am fine. And honestly, you can say it can become so clear, you don't even think twice about it. That you realize you're not denying the problems in the body, but you realize, I am all right, even in spite of all of this. So, now, going forward, the mind. Look at the mind. Thoughts, feelings, emotions, ideas, memories, desires. This is the mind. When we look inside, we find that. Immediately apply Krishna's, the knife, the analytical knife which he's using. Left brain thinking. What is that? That whatever you know is the field. And you are the knower of the field. Do we know the mind? Yes, we can. Look inside, you will find. When I feel happy, I know I am happy. When I feel unhappy, I know I am unhappy. When I think of the thoughts which come in the mind, I can introspect. Sometimes I don't introspect, but I can introspect. Memories which come. Sometimes we try to recall something and we can't recall. That also is known. So every movement of the mind, knowledge, ignorance, remembering, not remembering, feeling good, feeling bad, desiring something, liking something, hating something, all of those are experienced, are known. And if they are known, Krishna will say, field, kshetra. You are not even the mind. Etad yoveti kshetragyam tang prahu. The one who knows the mind is called the knower of the field. You are the knower of the field, and the mind becomes part of the field. Even that by which we are doing Vedanta, right now we're thinking all that stuff. That's also part of the field. It's an instrument. It is not you. It is very radical. To say that I am not the body is radical, and to say I am not even the mind is radical. But the principle, the knife, the sword which Krishna has handed us, the sword of knowledge. In the 15th chapter, Krishna uses the term asanga shastrena, the axe of knowledge, of detachment. This sword of knowledge, this knife, this shows us that I am not even the body. I am not even the mind. Why? Because this mind is known. It's an object of knowledge. Yes. What happened? Oh, feeling cold? Okay. I forgot. This is Houston. New Yorkers feel hot. This couple of days ago, day before yesterday, I returned from Ireland. It was in the 60s. And I reached New York. It's the hottest day in decades. Some people are saying in maybe 50 years or more than that, it's the hottest day. It was 101. Yeah, so people from Houston will say, what's the big deal? I'm puzzled. Said, yes, go on. What are you trying to say? No, it was really, for New Yorkers, it's terribly hot. Yeah, see, the chandelier has come on. You might say, oh, hundreds of lights. Krishna will say, no, one light shining through all of that. Of course, there are different designs. This may have multiple lights, actually. But the point is, the crystals, or the glass, they reflect that light. And it seems like hundreds of bulbs are shining in there. So the mind is also part of the field. It is something that is known. I am not even the mind. I am the knower of the body, therefore I am not the body. I am the knower of the mind, therefore I am not the mind. This is called in Vedanta Atma Anatma Viveka, the discernment of the self and not self. The discernment, separation, Viveka, separation of the self and not self. Sri Ramakrishna would say, sand and sugar are mixed up. The ant can separate the two. An ant goes in there and eats the sugar, it won't eat the sand. Milk and water are mixed up. The swan apparently can separate the two. It leaves the water and drinks the milk, apparently. That's the story. And then he says something which makes sense in Indian language. It's impossible to translate into English. He says in Bengali, Golmale mala che, golti baddi malti lao. You can put it in Hindi also. Number of Indian languages also you can put it. Golmal mein mal hai, gol chhod do mal le lo. Now, how do you translate into English? I have tried. Golmal means a mess or a chaos or I don't know. And in the midst of that, the essence, the truth is right there. Pick out the truth. Take the truth. Leave the mess aside. It's not that the truth is elsewhere and there is the world is here. The truth is also right here. You have to discern it. And the process of discernment, analytically, is to separate the field and the field knower. Krishna is giving that paradigm. In Vedanta, this is the first step. Drigdrishya Viveka, the difference of the seer and the seen. The body, whatever is the seen, is not you. You are the seer. Seer literally does not mean only with the eyes. Physically here, out with the eyes. But the eyes themselves are the seen. But mind is the seer. The mind itself is the seen. You, the consciousness, you are the seer. So you, the seer, the real seer, is called Kshetragya, the knower of the field. Those who have studied Vedanta methodically, they will realize, they will say there is a term which is given to this process. This is called Tvam Padartha Shodhana, the inquiry into the meaning of the term you. You are that. In order to know the meaning of the sentence, you are that, we must first understand the meaning of you. Inquiry into you. This is what's going on now. And there are two meanings of the word you. Who am I? So inquiry into this I. The two meanings of the word I or you. What are the two meanings? The straightforward meaning. Field and field knower. What's the field? Body. What are you? I am the experiencer of the body, which I am feeling right now. Just this guy, I am this person. First meaning. This is pre-inquiry. Post-inquiry, I am not the body, not the mind. I am that witness consciousness. So this is called, I'm just giving you the technical terms in Vedanta, what is used. If you know it, you'll immediately get it. If you don't know it, don't worry. You have not missed anything. And technically in Vedanta, this would be called Vachyartha, Lakshyartha. Vachyartha, the direct meaning, the primary meaning, the literal meaning, the dictionary meaning. The dictionary meaning of the knower of the field, Kshetragya, is just this person. You, I, Arjuna, this person, this embodied person. And the second meaning, Lakshyartha, the implied meaning, the post-inquiry meaning, the post-discernment, post-inquiry meaning. In Sanskrit, it is called Lakshyartha, implied meaning. What is the implied meaning of the word you? What is the implied meaning of the word Kshetragya, knower of the field? Pure consciousness, witness consciousness. Not body, not mind, the witness, the experiencer of body-mind. You say, but why are you using the term consciousness? Suddenly, where did it come from? Notice, if I am the experiencer of the body, so start like this. If I am the body, then I ask, what are you made of? It's very obvious. I'm made of flesh and blood and bones and skeleton and organs and cells and all of that. If I say, no, I am not the body. I am the embodied person. I am just this person. I am the mind, for example. Then also I can answer what I am made of. I am made of memories. I am made of desires. I am made of a personal identity, a story. I am this guy, Sarvapriyananda. I have a story. This personality, this I am. But if I say I am not the body, I am not the mind, then the question will arise, what are you then? What are you? If you're not the body, you can't say I am flesh and bones and blood. If you're not the mind, you cannot say that I am thoughts and memories and desires of personality. Then what are you? Then what am I? Well, two things we can say. One is, I surely exist. And second, I am experiencing. I am the knower of the field. I am knowing, I am seeing, I am witnessing, I am experiencing. I have experience. I am aware. So Vedanta says, the true knower of the field, after inquiry, after analysis, after left brain thinking, the result we get is, I exist and I am aware. I am. Existence awareness. In Sanskrit, Sat Chit. Or another word, Chit, consciousness. Chaitanya. Another word, Sakshi, witness consciousness. You can see why it is called witness consciousness, because I am the experiencer. Of what? Of everything. I am the knower of the field. What do you know? The field. What is the field? Mind, body, world. All of this is the field. But Arjuna, Krishna said, oh Arjuna, this body, take it as the field. Because you have to discern yourself from the body. All right. So I am not the body, not the mind, but in and through the body, I am acting. I exist and I am awareness. And there are many ways of coming to it. If you think, there are great differences between the field and the field knower. The field, the body, is not only known, not only an object of experience, but it is ever changing. And the field knower, I'm not giving the arguments for want of time, but just take a look. The field knower is never changing. And the field knower is awareness. The body is an object of awareness. The field knower is one. The body and the mind is a composite of many things. The field knower is the innermost. The body and mind are external to it. There are multiple such differences. Savikara, nirvikara, changing and never changing. Drashta and drishya, seer and the seen. Nitya, anitya, eternal and non-eternal. Ekam, anekam, one and many. Pratyag and bahihi, inner and outer. Multiple ways of distinguishing field and field knower, consciousness and object. So I am the witness consciousness, the knower of the field. Already we have big results here. Apply that, what that monk said. जो चीज जहां की है उसको वहीं रहने दो. Keep things where they belong. Then you will find all what we consider to be problems are physical problems or mental problems. There are problems. The problems at the level of the body, problems at the level of the mind. None of them are mine. They're there. They have to be handled. They have to be tackled. Like a piece of dirt here has to be cleaned up. But it's not me, nor is it mine. I, as the knower of the field, as the kshetragya, am already fine. And I ever will be fine. Even in the middle of that asthmatic attack when Shivanandaji or Vivekananda both were saying, I am perfectly fine, I'm calm, I am all right. Like that, this clarity will come to us. And then we can deal with the problems. Okay. But now, let us go deeper. Questions arise. There are so many bodies. So if the body is a field, how many fields are there? Many, many, many. Millions and billions. If there are millions and billions of fields, how many field knowers are there? How many witness consciousnesses are there? Are there billions of witness consciousnesses? How many awarenesses? Consciousnesses? How many? How many knowers of the field? Kshetragya. How many? Millions and billions? Or one? This question will arise. Another question will arise. In all this, where is God? Because remember, chapter 7 to 12 was primarily about God. So where is God? We have just divided it into me and everything else. Earlier I thought me was the body. I was the body. Now I think I am awareness. Even body falls in everything else. Body is also part of the field. I am the field knower. Mind is also part of the field. I am the field knower. But how many? But what about God? Is God part of the field or is God the field knower? If God is part of the field, God becomes an object, a thing to be known. If God is the field knower, then I am God. I always knew it, but I'm afraid to claim it. It's too much. Krishna answers this, the second verse, which we will go and then wrap it up. So the second verse is dramatic. This whole chapter is wonderful. Second verse is stunning. In half a verse, he answers both questions. What about God? And how many knowers of the field are there? Fields are many, clearly we can see. How many knowers of the field are there? Krishna answers, Kshetragyam chapi mam viddhi sarva kshetreshu bharata iti kshetra kshetragyayor jnanam yattad jnanam matam mama. So he says, O Arjuna, in all these fields, know that there is one knower of the field, and that I am. Krishna says, I am the knower of the field, singular, in many fields, in all these fields, plural. Bodies are many, minds are many, apparently the persons, individuals are many, but in all of them, behind all of them, there is one consciousness, one existence. One knower of the field, Kshetragya. One spirit, Purusha. One Atma, self. And Krishna says, I am that. Two things he has said. One knower of the field, not many. One consciousness, not many. And that one consciousness shining in and through all these fields, that is God. Krishna says already up to chapter 12 he has revealed. Remember chapter 11 was the dramatic Vishwarupa Darshana. He revealed himself as Ishvara, as Virat, the cosmic form of God. Made famous recently by Oppenheimer, that movie. Yeah. So when he used to read Bhagavad Gita. As a student in Berkeley, a professor of Sanskrit introduced him to the Gita. He said, in it I found the most sublime philosophical song in any known tongue of the world. In any known language of the world, the most sublime philosophical song. So, and he would always keep a copy of the Bhagavad Gita with himself and he would push it on to his friends. His father bought him his first car, a Cadillac, in those days, big Cadillac car. and he named it Garuda, the eagle on which Vishnu flies. He named it the Garuda. And he quoted. In fact, there's a clip of him. You will find an old black and white video clip of him in an interview long after the first atom bomb was exploded. He said, upon seeing the first nuclear explosion, I was reminded of from the Bhagavad Gita, where he says Vishnu, of course, comes as avatar, as Krishna. He shows his cosmic form to Arjuna. And it is a stunning vision. And he says, I have come time that the death of worlds. Or I am become time, the death of worlds, something like that. He quotes from that. He actually quoted the original Sanskrit. Yeah, so he was a scholar of Sanskrit. Anyway, so that God is one, and Krishna says, the knower of the field, there's one knower of the field. Now we all feel very different from each other. Because of our body identification, because of the mind identification, we feel we take it without any analysis at all. I know I am separate from all of you. But Krishna here says, yes, the bodies are separate. The personalities are separate. But the consciousness which seems to be in this body and mind, that is actually one consciousness. Later on, Krishna will say, avibhaktam cha bhuteshu vibhaktam iva cha sthitam, undivided in all beings, appearing as if divided. Kshetragyam chapi mam vidhi sarva kshetreshu bharata. Know me, that is God. What he's saying here is God, the knower of the field, and the field. They are all one reality. The person trained in Vedanta will say, here Krishna is saying Tattvamasi. Because he said first to Arjuna, you are the knower of the field, the body is the field. Now he's saying, I, God, am the knower of the field. That means, who are you then? Who are you? That means Krishna is saying, I and you are not different. We are one reality. Appearing to be different in all different bodies, but in truth, one. This is a radical oneness. All of us. It's not the brotherhood of man or the sisterhood of all women. No, much more radical than that. We are actually one being at the level of pure consciousness. If we complete that process of not the body, not the mind, and arrive at pure consciousness, then we look back. How does it work? How is it all one? This difference is there. Traditionally in Vedanta, I'll tell you immediately what the Vedantin will say. So what he is saying here is, somebody's phone? Yes. I is one consciousness. With the power of Maya, I am called Ishvara, or in Sanskrit, Ishvara, Saguna Brahman. The equivalent English word would be the God of religion. So that one pure consciousness with the power of Maya is the God of religion who projects this entire universe. And that same consciousness, veiled by a power of Maya, called ignorance or avidya, becomes each individual being. Because according to Vedanta, Maya or avidya is capable of being subdivided endlessly. So it appears, the same consciousness appears to be many because it is streaming through, coming through many. That's a good example. Suppose there's one light in there, one bulb, but it looks like many, many lights are there. Similarly, there is one central bulb, which is the knower of the field, pure consciousness. But coming through many minds, it lights up many minds. And therefore, we all seem to be different. And because the minds are different constituents, different likes, dislikes, memories, personalities, we all behave differently. And we all interact with each other. And we feel we are many. But we are actually not many. We are all this one consciousness within. Also, Vedanta, just for the sake of completion, because this entire universe is a creation of God, the general idea in religion, God creates the universe. Vedanta will say that one consciousness through Maya projects itself as this universe. Consciousness, knower of the field, through Maya projects itself as the field. Notice what I'm saying now. The knower of the field projects itself as the field. Therefore, this distinction we made in the beginning between field and field knower. I am the knower of the field. The world is the field. The body is the field. I am separate from it. Now we are reversing it. We are saying that the field and the body and the mind are not different from you. They are one with you. They are you appearing to yourself in these different ways. You appear to yourself as the mind. You appear to yourself as the body and the physical universe. You means not the you, the person. You, the pure consciousness, that one light. A subtle question here, if people want to, you might be thinking, this question might come to your mind. You started, Swami, with a difference, not just me. Krishna started with a difference between field and field knower. Now, is he taking it back? Is he reversing it? Is he saying that the field and field knower are not different? First he said, the knower of the field is different from the field. Etad yo vetti. Knower and known are different. Now, are you saying it is not different? Here is the fine print. Here is the subtle argument here. That initial distinction is correct. The knower of the field is different from the field. But Krishna never said that the field is different from the field knower. You are not the body, not the mind. You are not the world. You are pure consciousness. But at no point was it said that the world, body and mind are other than you. What does that mean? If X is different from Y, then X will be different from Y. Y will be different from X. How can X be different from Y and Y is not different from X? How is that possible? It is possible. How so? Look at the ocean out there. Waves are coming up. The water is distinct from the waves. In what sense? Before the wave came up, the water was there. When the wave has come, the water is still there. When the wave subsides, the water is still there. So the water is different from the waves. It doesn't have to be a wave. It's distinct. But the waves are not different from water. The waves are nothing but water. Do you see the difference? Let me give you a more sophisticated example, which will immediately explain what Vedanta is trying to say. Our dreams. In our dreams, we fall asleep. We forget that we are sleeping. Then we project. Our minds project a dream world. There are people, there are places, there are events. Even you are there in your own dream as a person in the dream. Now, if I say, you are none of those things, you are distinct from all of them. You are not the people, the places, the events, even the body you saw in the dream, the personality, you, even that you are not. After all, you are the sleeper, the dreamer. You are lying in the bed and watching. So you are distinct from everything and everybody in the dream. One. But everything and everybody in the dream is not distinct from you. They do not exist other than you. They are your own projections. So in the same way, once you realize what is the true knower of the field, then you will see, look back again and see the field is nothing but the knower of the field, appearing to itself dreamlike in a projection. We are this universe. The knower of the field appears as the field, and therefore there is non-duality. This is non-duality. What is non-duality? I was reading, Swami Turiyananda ji says, Sri Ramakrishna used to say, Advaita Gyan Achale Vede Jaichatai Karo. Tie the knowledge of Advaita to the hem of your cloth. What does this hem of the cloth mean? Those who are from India, you will know. In an earlier generation, our mothers, grandmothers, the ladies of the house, they used to tie the keys of the house to the sari, hem of the sari. So the keys would handle. So tie the knowledge of Advaita to the hem of your cloth, to your sari. And then they would go about doing all the work of the house, whatever. They would manage everything. Similarly, tie the knowledge of Advaita, this knowledge of field and field knower. Tie it to the hem of your cloth means make it your basis. And then go about doing whatever you're doing in the world. Sri Ramakrishna would say that. Swami Turiyananda ji there, he comments, he connects it to all this what we are talking about. He says, what does it mean? That Lord you are worshipping, God which you are worshipping, know that God to be the eye of your eye, the life of your life, the mind of your mind, your, what he says, your antaratma, your inner self. So he says that is true bhakti. And then he says in this para bhakti and jnana, advaita jnana, there's no difference. In this highest bhakti, devotion, what is the highest bhakti? That God I love and worship and adore is not an object. It is not kshetra, it's not the field. It is actually the field knower. It is my innermost self. Exactly what Krishna said. Of course, here Turyananji is using the language of Kena Upanishad. Shrotrasya shrotram manaso mano yad vachoha vacham sau pranasya pranaha chakshushas chakshur atimuchya dhira pretyasmad lokadamrita bhavanti. It is the ear of the ear. It is the mind of the mind. It is the speech of the speech. It is the prana of the prana. It is the eye of the eye. Knowing this, one transcends this body-mind, the field, even while alive, even while embodied, and overcomes all suffering, even while living here. This is called Jivan Mukti. And after death, the dropping away of the body attains to bodiless liberation. Kaivalya Mukti or Videha Mukti, freedom, bodiless freedom. Anyway, this is the whole teaching of Vedanta. You are that one consciousness. Not only that one consciousness, but that which is appearing as the universe also. There is nothing here and nobody here who is different from you. This is non-duality. In our dreams, are we not non-dual? In the sense that there is no second reality in the dream apart from you. The entire dream universe is non-dual with respect to you. There's no second there. Although it looks like this. This is real non-duality. One sadhu I remember, I'm sorry for repeating the Hindi, but it's a very nice thing to the language they use. He says, अगर आपकी शांति ध्यान में है, समाधि में है, महात्मा जी, तो वो आधा शांति हुआ. If your peace is in meditation, if your peace is being a monk in the Himalayas, your peace is in meditation, your peace is in the temple, peace is in samadhi, that is only half peace. What about samsara? What about the householder? What about action? What about office, family, outside the temple? That there is no peace there. How will you have peace in meditation and with eyes open? Sri Ramakrishna used to say, God exists with my eyes closed. When I open my eyes, there's no God. What kind of God is that? Which means, what I see with my eyes closed, I should also experience with my eyes open. What I see in the quietness of meditation, I should also experience in the dynamism of action. In the midst of the battlefield of Kurukshetra, same peace must be there. Everywhere. Then only it becomes effortless. Otherwise, always a tendency will be there. World is troublesome. Let me go into seclusion. Householder life and spirituality not possible. Let me become a monk. In action, meditation, spirituality is not possible. Only in meditation. All those things are good, but it's still partial. It is not non-duality. It is not Advaita. Here, Sri Krishna completes Advaita. He says, this is true knowledge. The knowledge that I am the one consciousness in all fields. Which means not only there is only one consciousness, these fields are also not different from that one consciousness. Because that one consciousness is also the God who has projected itself as this universe. There's nothing here different from you. But remember the fine print. You are different from it all. But none of this is different from you. I read very nicely Ramana Maharshi's teachings. He says the universe is the expansion of the self. First realize, who am I? Then you will realize the universe is nothing but me. Then only you can be comfortable in the universe. Somebody said, after realizing all these things, then it will become boring. Nothing more remains to be done. No. For the first time, you will begin to live. First time. Till now, we are running scared. Swami Vivekananda, he met Ingersoll in this country. Robert Ingersoll, he was an agnostic, famous public speaker, orator. And he told Vivekananda, I don't believe in all this religion and spirituality. I think this life is the only life that we have. And I want to squeeze the orange of this life so that I get every last drop. Because this is the only thing we are sure of. God, heavens, all you're talking about, who knows? This is the only life we have. And Vivekananda said, I believe in that too. I also believe in the same thing. Then he added, of course, I differ in my choice of fruit. For me, it is a mango. But he said, I know a better way of squeezing the fruit. I know I cannot die, therefore I am not in a hurry. I am not afraid. Imagine the joy of loving everybody as God. Kshetragyam chapi mam viddhi, know me alone to be all. That means everybody I'm interacting with is Krishna. Just wearing different masks. So, imagine the joy of loving all beings as God. Live your life in this. No, he says, squeeze your orange in this way. Get 10,000-fold more. Get every last drop. I'm quoting Vivekananda. Get every last drop. This is the philosophy of life which emerges from these two verses by Sri Krishna. Do you see now? It has become right brain. Holistic. Non-dual. Oneness. So this is Advaita Vedanta, non-dual Vedanta. This is sort of the philosophical fulcrum, the philosophical heart of the entire Bhagavad Gita. Not the practical heart. There's a lot of wonderful practical advice to come after this. But the core insight. First analyze, discover, as Ramana Maharshi put it even more simply. First find out who am I, and then you will see the universe is your expansion. First, I am the knower of the field. I am not the field. That will save you from most trouble in the universe. But then further, I, the knower of the field, I am everything. Ashtavakra says, the whole universe, along with the body and mind, are presented to me. In that case, who am I? If the body and mind are being presented to me, then I am consciousness. The universe, along with the body and mind, are presented to me at once. Therefore, either I am all of it or none of it. Our problem is we take one slice of it. This is the whole field. I take one part of it and say, I am this. Then samsara will start for me. Either I am all of it or none of it. Sarvam khalvidam brahma. This is one. Everything is Brahman. Or Jagat Mithya. The whole universe is an appearance, illusory appearance. Both will work. I pray to Sri Ramakrishna, Ma Sharada, Swami Vivekananda. May they bless us. May this knowledge become operational in our lives. May this become a living reality. How to make it a living reality, that's the next thing. First to get it. This is a tremendous thing to learn. This is the greatest thing to learn. There's nothing quite like it, Advaita Vedanta. Nothing like it. But then also the challenge of living it. Learning it, a great idea, wonderful philosophy, stunning idea, great insight. But then living it, and then you'll see in the next few verses, Krishna will give 20 practices, how one can actualize, how one can convert, can get the benefit of it in this life itself. Knowledge is one thing, but Jivan Mukti, freedom in this life, that is using that knowledge. Sri Ramakrishna put it this way. Some have seen milk. Some have heard of milk. Some have seen milk. The difference between hearing of milk is hearing the YouTube talk or this lecture. That is the hearing of the milk. Seeing the milk is to realizing for yourself, oh my God, this is stunning. I get it now. It's absolutely clear to me. It takes years and years of cultivation. Not just intellectually sort of getting it. No, it becomes a fact. And that is amazing. It's greatly freeing. It's a huge burden. See, I always say enlightenment has two meanings. Enlighten means to realize something. Enlighten also, another play of the word is becoming lighter. You feel light. But then comes the challenge of actually living like that in life. May we be able to actualize this in this very life and make our lives blessed and be a blessing for everybody else. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Tat Sat Shri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu. Should we take a couple of questions? Do we have a little bit of time? There's a microphone. If you raise your hand, this lady here. You have to be aggressive. Raise your hand aggressively. Yes. You should. And then we'll come to the gentleman here. Tell us your name and ask the question.
My name is Prema Murthy.
I just.
I have a question.
Yes.
Why did the one
Speak
why
it.
did this one consciousness take all these forms?
Why did the one become the many? Big, big question. I, rem- I remember once I had gone to a great Buddhist master in India. I had just become a monk. I got sannyasa. It was in 2004, so more than 20 years ago. And one of my interests has been the Tibetan Buddhist philosophy, especially Shunyavada, the philosophy of Nagarjuna, and Shankara's Advaitavada, the non-duality and the school of emptiness. So this master, he was the head of a huge Tibetan monastery in India, a Tibetan monk. I went up to him. He was the head of the entire lineage, actually. Is known as the Sakya Trijin. Those who have followed Tibetan Buddhism, you know there are 4 schools: Sakyapa, Nyingmapa, Gelugpa, and Kagyupa. The head of the Gelugpa is the Dalai Lama, but he's also the head of all 4 overall. But each one has its own head. So this was the head of the Sakya group. Powerful man. You could feel the power radiating of him. So there was a long queue of Tibetans, and I was in that line as a new monk. So I had a question for him. So when my turn came, I bowed down to him and I asked my question. What is the difference between the emptiness of Nagarjuna and the non-duality of Shankaracharya? And he looked at me. He was a big man and looked down at me. And I still remember his face. Big question, no time. You're asking a very big question. Why did the one become the many? Why did it appear in all of these forms? So why did Atman or Brahman become this universe? Why did the field knower become the field? So the straight answer will be, it didn't. First one, suppose in your dream, someone asks you after waking up, so why did you become all those people and those places, and why did you appear as all of that? You will say, I didn't. It was a dream. I am just the one. I always was this one person. Even while dreaming as 100 people, as the whole world, I was this one only, the one dreamer. But still you may ask this question, all right, it's a dream. There are appearances. Actually, consciousness did not become anything else. It appeared as this entire universe. But still you might ask, why did it appear as this many? That also one might ask. There the answer will be, Vivekananda explains, the question is wrong. Why is the question wrong? See, when we ask why, what are we expecting? An answer. What will the answer be like? Because. We are asking for a cause. Why is the ground wet? Because it rained. Why did it rain? Because of the clouds. Why are there clouds? Because of the evaporation, because of the sun, and so on. Why is Brahman or Atman or pure consciousness appearing as many? Why is the one appearing? Appearing. Did not become. We concede it did not become. It's all Maya. It is appearing. But why? The thing is, you are asking for a because. But Maya itself is causation. What is Maya defined as? Space-time causation. You can ask because, why, and because that thing will be there after Maya. Before Maya, you cannot ask for a cause. It's like if you ask, what is outside space? But outside and inside are space words. It has no meaning there's no meaning of outside space. If you don't accept space, there's no question of outside and inside. If you ask, what was there before time? Now, before and after are time words. Past and present make sense only in time. But time itself, if you're asking what is before time, the question has no meaning. Similarly, if you ask, why Maya? Because that's what you're asking. You're asking, why causation? Or in other words, you're asking why? Causation is why. Why and because. After you accept causation, then why and because will have a play. But before causation, no question of why. This is another way of saying Maya has no link with Brahman actually. Whatever happens in Maya, the causation is within Maya. You can't link it to Brahman. So you cannot ask why Brahman is appearing as this universe. Brahman will simply deny it. He'll say, I'm not appearing. It's like asking the rope, why are you appearing as the snake? Rope will say, I am not. It's your problem. That's one answer. The other answer, which I like, is it's a binary. What choice does Brahman have? Either to appear as something or to appear as nothing. And both Brahman is doing. In Srishti and Sthiti, in the projection of the universe and the existence of the universe, the one is appearing as the many here. And in the destruction of the universe, at the end of the cosmic cycle, when Pralaya will be there, cosmic dissolution, the one only will remain without appearing as anything. Or in our daily life, in waking and dreaming, consciousness appears as the many. The field appears as field, knower appears as the field. In deep sleep, nothing appears. So both are satisfied. Consciousness can appear as something or as nothing. Now, if consciousness, if you will complain why it is appearing as something. So consciousness is all right, I will not appear. But then you'll complain, why? What a useless consciousness, not appearing as anything. The poor consciousness has only two things. Either it will appear or not appear. Both it is doing. There is one final answer to that. One senior Swami, he put it this way. He said, on this side of realization, enlightenment, we have the question but not the answer. On that side of enlightenment, they have the answer but not the question. They have no question. It does not bother them, this question. All right. The gentleman here. Yes.
Namaskaram, Swamiji. My name is Ram Manohar. I am following you since 2017 and particularly this Vedantic knowledge. I'm very interested in this since then. But every time I get many questions like this, it's so cutting thing, right? So you get the knowledge, you get the fascinated, you like feel happy like the way I am today. But you also continuously get questions like I got yesterday, like that. So for about past 3-4 years, I am also doing some bhakti kind of thing. 3 hours, 4 hours, no questions, just get immersed in. I'm already initiated into Sri Rudrama, all those things when at childhood. Yeah. So I'm thinking now, is Bhakti Marg alone can lead to realization, or is this knowledge thing is essential? Because it's so cutting thing. Intellectual mind won't leave you alone. It keeps on, gives questions and questions.
Yes. So Shankaracharya himself says, Bhakti reva gariyasi. Bhakti is the greatest of the paths which will lead you to enlightenment. Bhakti by itself can. In fact, in the path of knowledge, Advaita Vedanta, our masters always say, you should always supplement it with bhakti. It's very useful for those who are on the path of knowledge. It's a great support. Swami Vivekananda himself would say, I am Brahman. Somebody asked Swami Vivekananda that, are you ever serious? Always you're joking. He said, when I get a tummy ache, then I'm serious. Then seriously he said, see, I always say that I'm Brahman. But when I'm in trouble, I say mother, ma. And then he said to that American lady who had asked him, Madam, always keep these two sides. Always keep these two sides. The Jnana side, which says, Aham Brahmasmi, and also the Bhakti side, which says, I am the child, you are the mother. This is all the play of Divine Mother. And everything in this field and in this field also, everything is a play of the Divine Mother. So both should be combined. But in pure Bhakti Siddhanta, there they say there's no need of this Advaitic, I am Brahman and all that. Just if you have just pure faith in God, hold on to God, but you must have that kind of faith. In times of trouble also, hold on to God. It's not easy at all. For most people, a combination of both is good. Sri Ramakrishna taught Jnana Mishra Bhakti. Bhakti with knowledge. Knowledge and Bhakti together. That's a wholesome path. Vivekananda said, knowledge, Bhakti, meditation, service. The 4 yogas. Jnana Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, Karma Yoga, Raja Yoga. All four together for a harmonious, safe, wholesome spiritual development. Advaitins have a very interesting approach to bhakti. One great Advaitic teacher in the Himalayas, he was asked, provocative question. They know he is an Advaitic, non-dualist. They asked him, तो महात्मा जी कौन बड़ी है भक्ति या ज्ञान which is greater bhakti or knowledge devotion or knowledge which is greater he immediately answered bhakti badi hai love of God bhakti is greater so people were surprised they thought he will say knowledge is greater but he said devotion is greater then someone asked him agar bhakti badi hai to gyan kya hai if devotion bhakti is greater then what about knowledge what about non-duality and then he answered ज्ञान में कोई बड़ा छोटा नहीं होता है in knowledge there is no higher or lower no greater or smaller so both the glory of both he has proclaimed if you ask which is greater which is more glorious always we'll say love is the best bhakti is the best then what about knowledge in knowledge no higher or lower that is the glory of knowledge that is one infinite sameness beautifully has shown both all right we'll bring it to a close here. Thank you very much. If someone, yes, there are announcements. Yes.
Okay, so a few announcements. Of course, I'll just use a little bit of your words, Maharaj. He just used, drinking milk, seeing milk and listening to milk. In Bengali, there's a little saying, "Dudhe shad ghole mitano," which means, if you don't have milk, you get the taste out of buttermilk. So, we all watch YouTube of Swami Sarvapriyananda ji. That is the buttermilk. Today, we have the full version, creamed version of the milk with us. And we are so thankful, Maharaj, to you. Anyway, so to go back to the announcements, tomorrow there will be nothing here in the center. The whole